Hello guys. So recently I ran into a bit of a storage issue on my setup. My main system SSD was almost completely full after installing Waydroid along with a few heavy Android apps on it. Luckily, on my motherboard I have a second SSD formatted in Ext4 that has plenty of storage left. So instead of deleting my apps or repartitioning my drive, I decided to solve this by moving the entire Waydroid data directory over to that second SSD and linking it back using a symbolic link. Here is the exact process I used to set this up on my PC without messing up file permissions or losing any app data. Before moving anything, the very first thing I needed to do was find the exact mount path of my second SSD. In Linux, your second drive might be mounted under /mnt. To check this, I open the terminal and run lsblk-f. Before moving any files around, I had to completely stop all running Waydroid services. This is super important to prevent any background data corruption while copying. Next, I created a dedicated directory on my second SSD. Now, when copying Waydroid data, it's critical to use sudo cp-a instead of a regular move command. The -a flag preserves all internal Android system permissions and security context, which prevents the container from crashing later on. Once the copy process was done, I renamed my original Waydroid folder as a temporary backup. And then created a symbolic link pointing from the second SSD back to Waydroid's default path in my home directory. After creating the symlink, I restarted the Waydroid container and tested my apps. Everything booted up smoothly. Since the test was a success, I went ahead and deleted the old backup folder to finally free up space on my main system drive. And that's how I managed to free up my system SSD while keeping my entire Waydroid setup intact. Hopefully, sharing my experience helps if you ever run into a similar storage bottleneck on your Linux setup.